The 90s gave us iconic sitcoms like Friends and Seinfeld. But what about those wonderfully weird shows that slipped through the cracks? These 10 wild 90s sitcoms time forgot might not get mentioned in greatest TV lists.
Well,
I'm a guy.
I'm a mime.
But 90s kids remember every laugh, every catchphrase, and every ridiculous moment that made them appointment television. 10th Major Dad, 1989 to 1993.
I want boom boom!
Yes, sir!
Dismissed.
Gerald McRaney starred as Marine Major John McGillis, a decorated military man who marries liberal journalist Polly Cooper and suddenly finds himself raising 3 stepdaughters. The show perfectly captured the culture clash between military discipline and civilian chaos, with McRaney's gruff exterior hiding a tender heart struggling with fatherhood. Running for 4 seasons on CBS, Major Dad offered wholesome family entertainment with a military twist that felt refreshingly different from typical sitcom dads. The show tackled everything from first dates to homework battles, always through the lens of a man trained for combat, but completely unprepared for parenting teenage girls. What made it special was how it never mocked military life, while still finding humor in the fish-out-of-water scenario. McRaney's natural charisma and comedic timing made Major McGillis both authoritative and vulnerable, creating a father figure who felt real despite the premise's inherent absurdity. 9. Parker Lewis Can't Lose, 1990 to 1993.
Maybe if we're lucky, it won't be such a big deal to him.
Thank you for making this the happiest day of my life.
Before Ferris Bueller became a cult classic, Parker Lewis brought that same rule-breaking, fourth-wall-smashing energy to television. Corin Nemec played the title character, a seemingly invincible high school student who could talk his way out of any situation with the help of his loyal sidekicks Mikey and Jerry. The show was aggressively stylized, featuring freeze frames, split screens, and direct-to-camera commentary that made it feel like a live-action cartoon. Fox's early experiment in meta-television, Parker Lewis was way ahead of its time with surreal sight gags and pop culture references that predicted shows like Scrubs and Community. The show's visual language was revolutionary for television, using techniques borrowed from music videos and comic books to create a hyperkinetic viewing experience. Principal Grace Musso served as Parker's arch-nemesis, constantly trying to catch him in some scheme, while his sister Shelley provided the voice of reason and occasional blackmail. 8. The Wyans Brothers, 1995 to 1999.
Back it up, son. Nice getting. Nice getting. Back it up. Nice getting.
Sean and Marlon Wayans brought their real-life sibling chemistry to the WB, playing fictionalized versions of themselves living together in Harlem while running a newsstand and dealing with their father Pop's restaurant. The show perfectly captured mid-90s black culture with references to hip-hop, street fashion, and urban life that felt authentic rather than pandering. John Witherspoon stole every scene as Pops, the cantankerous father whose old-school wisdom and perfectly timed one-liners made him a breakout character. The series ran for 5 successful seasons, helping establish the WB as a legitimate network while showcasing the Wyans family's comedic talents beyond their sketch show roots. What made the show special was its blend of physical comedy, cultural commentary, and genuine brotherly affection between Sean and Marlon. The opening credits alone became iconic, with their 70s-style sequence followed by the real opening that broke the fourth wall. Security guard Dee Baxter added another layer of humor as the tough woman trying to keep order in their chaotic world. 7. Hangin' with Mr. Cooper, 1992 to 1997. Mark Curry starred as Mark Cooper, a former NBA player whose career-ending injury led him to become a substitute teacher and basketball coach in Oakland. Living with roommates Vanessa Russell, Holly Robinson Peete, and Robin Dumars, Don Lewis, the show provided a refreshing take on the fish-out-of-water premise with genuine heart and Mark Curry's natural comedic charisma. What set Mr. Cooper apart was its authentic portrayal of a successful black professional navigating both education and relationships without relying on stereotypes. The show tackled serious issues like educational funding and student motivation while maintaining its comedic core, with Cooper's unconventional teaching methods often clashing with school bureaucracy. When Raven-Simonet joined as Nicole in later seasons, she brought fresh energy that complemented the existing cast dynamics perfectly. The romantic subplot between Cooper and Vanessa developed organically over the series' 5-season run, culminating in their engagement during the final episodes. Creator Jeff Franklin, fresh off Full House success, brought the same family-friendly sensibility while addressing specifically Black experiences that were underrepresented on television. 6. News Radio, 1995 to 1999.
What's up, y'all? Bill McNeil saying there's a party all up in here and you need to get with the flow. Oh,
This criminally underrated workplace comedy featured one of the most talented ensemble casts ever assembled for a sitcom. Dave Foley played the neurotic news director of a New York AM radio station, surrounded by an eccentric staff including Stephen Root's conspiracy-obsessed Bill, Andy Dick's flamboyant Matthew, and Maura Tierney's ambitious reporter Catherine. The show's greatest tragedy was losing Phil Hartman in 1998, whose character Bill McNeil provided the perfect blend of arrogance and vulnerability that made him the show's emotional center. John Lovitz joined to replace Hartman, but the magic was irreplaceable. What made News Radio special was its smart writing that respected both character development and workplace dynamics, creating situations that felt authentic to anyone who'd worked in a dysfunctional office environment. The show's behind-the-scenes radio station setting allowed for media industry satire while exploring relationships between co-workers who genuinely cared about each other despite their professional differences. Vicki Lewis as the hyperactive secretary Beth brought manic energy that balanced the more subdued characters, while Joe Rogan's conspiracy theorist Joe provided philosophical counterpoint to the station's chaos. The writing was consistently sharp, with dialogue that crackled with wit and timing that showcased each actor's strengths. 5. Wings, 1990 to 1997.
Give me a hand here. What the hell is going on out?
Set on the fictional island of Nantucket, Wings followed brothers Joe and Brian Hackett, who ran a small commuter airline from the local airport. The show's charm came from its ensemble cast of lovably eccentric characters, including Roy Biggins, the pompous rival airline owner, and Faye Cochran, the ditzy but sweet airport counter clerk. Crystal Bernard played Helen Chappell, the lunch counter owner caught in a love triangle between the Hackett brothers, while Thomas Hayden Church's mechanic Lowell brought deadpan humor to every situation. What made Wings special was its perfect blend of workplace comedy and small-town dynamics, creating storylines that felt both intimate and universally relatable. The show's 8-season run proved its staying power, even if it never achieved the cultural cachet of Cheers, despite sharing the same universe. Wings excelled at character-driven humor, with each ensemble member bringing distinct personality traits that created natural conflict and comedy. The Nantucket setting provided endless opportunities for island-specific humor, from tourist season chaos to winter isolation storylines that showcased different aspects of the characters' relationships. Tony Shalhoub joined later seasons as the obsessive-compulsive Antonio, adding another layer of neurotic energy to the already complex workplace dynamics. 4. Hermans Head, 1991 to 1994.
No, it's not a woman, it's Mr. Bracken. A little old for you, isn't he, huh?
This high-concept sitcom took viewers inside the mind of Herman Brooks, played by William Ragsdale, where 4 distinct personality aspects argued and influenced his daily decisions. Hank Azaria voiced Angel, Herman's conscience, while Jane Sibbett played Genius, his intellectual side. The show's unique premise allowed for surreal comedy as viewers watched Herman's internal struggles play out literally, with each personality representing different impulses and desires. Set in a New York publishing company, the real-world storylines involving Herman's work and romantic life provided grounding for the more fantastical internal sequences. What made Herman's Head innovative was its visual representation of psychological concepts, using creative set design and costume choices to distinguish between Herman's mental and physical worlds. The show tackled everything from workplace politics to dating anxiety through the lens of Herman's competing personalities, creating comedy that was both cerebral and emotionally relatable. Yeardley Smith played Herman's co-worker, Louise, bringing her distinctive voice and neurotic energy to the workplace ensemble. The internal personalities often disagreed about Herman's choices, leading to elaborate debates that mirrored real psychological decision-making processes. 3. Living Single, 1993 to 1998.
Is everybody all right? What happened?
I just saw Khadijah naked. I'm devastated.
Queen Latifah led this groundbreaking ensemble comedy about 4 black women navigating careers and relationships in Brooklyn. Playing Khadijah James, editor of the fictional magazine Flavor, Latifah anchored a cast that included Kim Coles as aspiring actress Sinclair, Kim Fields as boutique buyer Regine, and Erica Alexander as sharp-tongued attorney Maxine. The show provided authentic representation of black professional women that was rare on television, addressing issues like workplace discrimination, relationship challenges, and financial independence with both humor and honesty. What made Living Single revolutionary was its refusal to rely on stereotypes, instead presenting complex characters with real careers, ambitions, and personal struggles. The chemistry between the 4 leads felt genuine, creating believable friendships that served as the show's emotional foundation. T.C. Carson and John Henton played the upstairs neighbors Overton and Kyle, providing romantic interests and additional comedic elements without overshadowing the female-focused storylines. Creator Yvette Lee Bowser drew from her own experiences to craft storylines that reflected real issues facing black women in the 1990s, from dating to career advancement to family expectations. The show's influence on later series cannot be overstated. Many cite it as a direct inspiration for Friends, though Living Single premiered first and offered perspectives rarely seen on mainstream television. Second, Third Rock from the Sun, 1996 to 2001.
Sexist would be if you told me I had a tight butt, then said if I didn't go to bed with you, I'd be fired.
John Lithgow led this brilliant sci-fi sitcom as Dick Solomon, an alien disguised as a physics professor studying human behavior with his fellow extraterrestrial family members. French Stewart played the hilariously neurotic Harry, Kristen Johnston brought physical comedy mastery to Sally, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt showcased early acting chops as teenage Tommy. The show's premise allowed for sharp social satire as the aliens observed human customs with fresh, critical eyes, leading to commentary on everything from gender roles to consumer culture. What made Third Rock special was its commitment to the alien perspective, never breaking character to wink at the audience about the absurdity of the situation. The romantic tension between Dick and Jane Curtin's Dr. Mary Albright provided emotional grounding while maintaining the show's comedic edge through their cultural misunderstandings. The physical comedy was exceptional, particularly Johnston's portrayal of Sally discovering femininity and Stewart's distinctive squinting delivery that became his trademark. The show won multiple Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Comedy Series, proving that high-concept premises could achieve both critical acclaim and popular success. 1. Eerie, Indiana, 1991 to 1992.
Ernie has gas. Yes, well,
This supernatural teen sitcom followed Marshall Teller, a teenager who discovers that his new hometown of Eerie, Indiana, is a hotbed of paranormal activity and government conspiracies. With his nerdy best friend Simon, Marshall investigated everything from ageless residents preserved by Tupperware to a dog that could predict the future through his artwork. The show perfectly balanced horror and comedy, creating genuinely creepy moments while maintaining enough humor to appeal to younger audiences. What made Eerie, Indiana special was its willingness to embrace truly bizarre storylines that other shows wouldn't dare attempt, from time loops to dimensional portals hidden in convenience stores. The writing treated its young protagonists with respect, never talking down to the audience while exploring themes of alienation, conformity, and the horrors lurking beneath suburban normalcy. Joe Dante's direction brought a distinctly cinematic quality to the series, with visual techniques and atmosphere that rivaled theatrical horror films. The show's mythology suggested that Eerie was a nexus point where strange forces converged, making it the center of weirdness for the universe. Each episode functioned as a standalone story while building the larger mythology of the town's supernatural properties. These forgotten 90s gems prove that the decade's best comedy wasn't always the most popular. Which wild sitcom was your secret obsession? Drop your favorites in the comments and subscribe for more nostalgic deep dives.